Hey friends, Donna Amidon here, and we are going through a series called 9 Qualities to Help You Reach Your World. And we've had the joy of meeting some of our spiritual fitness coaches, and we have Jenny in the studio today. So Jenny, we're going to talk about integrity in a minute, but we want to hear about you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what keeps you busy.
Sure, yeah. I work at a local church. I've been married to my husband, Jason, for almost 20 years now, which is kind of crazy. We have 2 kids, a 17-year-old son and a 14-year-old daughter. So between family and my job at the church as a small groups director, it keeps me pretty busy.
Good, and you have some background in music too, I understand.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. I've been in worship ministry for most of my life, actually, since I was 19 years old. Started leading worship in different churches, and so that's a big part of my life as well.
Wow, so you have lots of years of ministry, lots of different venues you've done that in, so that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into your topic of integrity, which I think is something that we need to be reminded of often. You made a statement that really gripped me. You said, a life of integrity speaks louder than words.
Yeah.
It's a powerful statement. Can you unpack that a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. You know, we live in an age where there's lots of words flying around. We have social media, everybody's an expert.
Yeah.
You know, we're presenting a certain way to the world with our words. But what God actually cares most about is the state of our hearts. And I honestly think people are looking for more of that. They're looking for more genuineness and not so much this pretty picture we paint of ourselves online, right?
Yeah.
You know, I think of Jesus even in Matthew 15 quoting the verse from Isaiah that says, "These people worship me with their mouths, but their hearts are far from me." I think that the people we're interacting with in daily life can kind of pick up on that. I do think that they notice when we're trying to be fake and we're not being honest and our worship isn't genuine. So it is an important conversation. And I do believe that when we're being honest and people of integrity, that's attractive. There's something there that people really are drawn to.
You are so right, because as the world is just going downward in this moral spiral, as we shine as lights and live different, it's going to show, and people are going to ask. Your testimony, you mentioned a little bit in your teaching, and you said before you became a Christian, you felt unsteady. And I'm very curious.
Yeah.
Tell me about that transformation that happened in your heart when you came to Christ.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And, you know, when I became a Christian is still a little bit of a mystery to me. I didn't have a one light bulb moment where I fully got it. It was through a series of events throughout my life over the years where there was kind of an unpacking of all the things I was clinging to that just weren't cutting it. I felt like I found my identity in maybe my appearance or in my relationships or whatever it might be. And God slowly over the years just kind of purged me of those things and brought me to my knees to realize, wait a second, the only solid rock I have to stand on is Christ. And He is where I find all of my identity. I don't have to prove anything to anyone. I don't have to prove my righteousness even. My righteousness rests in Him. And once I fully grasped that, you know, over this series of events, more and more my anxiety kind of lessened. I felt like I was able to just have more peace in life in general. When hard times came, it wasn't like I had to try to hold everything together and prove something about myself. It was, no, actually, it's Jesus who's carrying me, and that's all that matters, and that's all I have to stand on ultimately.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love the contrast that you bring, the unsteady.
Yeah.
And that's what happens, right? When we just stuff our souls with what the world thinks or tells us will satisfy us, and we're always left wanting. But then once we truly taste of the living water, as Jesus said in John chapter 4, we are truly satisfied. And I see that in you. And it does bring peace. And that is truly what the world wants. And when we live that life of almost like an integrity of heart, people can see that, because we're not crazy like the world, but there's just something different and beautiful about that.
Yeah.
So thank you for living that life and for teaching us about that. I have one more question for that person, and really for all of us who desire and hunger to live just that life of holiness, that life of integrity, that heart of integrity. Do you have any practical things we can do today or this week just to take it up and live a life of integrity?
Yeah, I truly believe it's so important to have people in our lives that are trustworthy and who know us well, who we are fully open and honest with. I have a group of ladies that I meet with regularly, and I try to be as transparent as I possibly can, even if it doesn't look very pretty. You know, just all the things that are in my heart that I'm wrestling with, whether they're, you know, right or wrong. I want people to speak truth into my life. And so I have people that I meet with regularly that help me with that. And I do think that that's a great practice for anybody who is a believer, who wants to cultivate a life of integrity, for sure. And then I think also just creating space in our life to reflect on the state of our hearts. I think we can get very busy with the doing for Jesus, right? And without actually just being with him and examining what's deeply going on within us, and then bringing that to him, and not just part of that to him, or what, sounds good to bring to him, but like truly every part of ourselves, all the brokenness, everything that we bring. Like, he doesn't want us to come filtered, right? And so creating a practice in our life where we're just like slowing down, we're not doing, we're just being with him, and we're bringing him our whole selves and letting him continue to do transforming work in our lives.
It is, and it never ends, right?
Yeah.
But we never arrive.
Nope.
There's always another layer to peel back, and he says, oh, my daughter, here's something else we're going to work on, and I'm going to help you through. And as we walk closer and closer to him, I feel like we can experience just the beauty of holiness and be transformed, and really that lifelong process of what the Bible calls sanctification. And it just never ends. And the more we shine, the more the world will see us. Now, I think what we need to be careful of is that we don't just live our lives and be silent, because then we would stop short. And I think sometimes people think, well, I'm living a life. But can you speak to that? Like, we need to speak, right?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's part of it, right? If we are doing genuine work within our hearts, then that genuineness should flow out of us as well. I mean, it isn't something that we can keep hidden. If it's true that Jesus has come and rescued us from our sin and from ourselves, why wouldn't we want to share that with others and be honest about all the work that he's done in our lives? Because it's beautiful and it's so freeing, and we know that people desperately need that message.
Yes.
And so, I absolutely agree.
Yeah, people are hungry.
Yeah.
People are searching, they are looking, and we have the answer for them. Well, thank you, Jenny. This has been amazing to get to know you, your heart, and you've many, many years in ministry, and sounds like the Lord has taught you a lot of deep lessons along the way. So we look forward to more great teaching from you. So thanks again.
Thank you.
Friends, we pray that you have enjoyed this time with Jenny, that you are enjoying our series called 9 Qualities to Help You Reach Your World. We'll see you next time. God bless.